Well, I click on my Sunto GPS watch. Whoop. Okay. Doesn't do a heck of a lot. I suppose the only thing it does gives me is some altitude. As the sign says, we're at the end of the Tongariro Alpine Crossing. We often come this way because it's a much more convenient place to park right at the end of the track. We hike up as far as Blue Lake, Emerald Lake's halfway point, and we can come back to the car as opposed to having to have another vehicle at the other end of the track. Nice fall May day, May 17th, 2023. The recent snowfall looks like it's worn off most of the mountain, but the track in places I think will be still pretty icy up near the Blue Lake area. Doc have got their winter warning signs out now. Avalanche risk. We had a snowfall a week ago and put a nice layer of snow on the mountains, but certainly no avalanche risk as yet. The lower portion of the track makes its way through Kamahi and a few other native trees, a few totras, and lots of ferns. That's one thing, there's no shortage of their ferns. Just about a kilometer in on the track, we have an interesting little side jaunt to what's I think is a very, very pretty waterfall. I think that's a muro tree here. Another one of the native tree species that we see along the track. These are the needles of a muro tree. They're flat leaves, flat needles. There's no shortage of tota trees along the track. And these are leaves from the tota tree, a bit more spike-like. A pretty common species on this track. Well, in 2012, Tamari craters erupted and of course changed the landscape on the lower portion of the track. And there's that lahar warning out now as we head into the lahar zone. So different varieties of ferns are along the way. There's certainly no shortage. This is the flaky bark we see on the manuka trees. Not big trees, but they're certainly quite common along the way here. A few sections of boardwalk along the track to keep us high and dry. In heavy rains, the track often overflows and crosses the track. You can see debris along the side of the stream. That's when the stream floods. I'm not sure if you call this a moss or a lichen or what. It's a lovely ground cover. The moss on trees gives it a little of the Lord of the Rings look. We're approaching a bridge over a dry stream. Apparently this was a stream back in time, but an eruption or heavy rainfall caused a diversion, but now it's dry as a bone. We have a grove of manuka trees here. we get into a little section of cabbage trees. Environmentally, it must be just perfect for them right in this little stretch. There's a whole slew of these cabbage trees. All the dead leaves of the cabbage trees are strung out on the ground here. But this little stretch of cabbage trees lasts about 200 meters. Now we come to the up portion of the track. A lot of stairs along the way here. A recent cyclone through the area took down a few giant trees, but that's what Mother Nature does. One of the few park benches you'll find along the way. You can find dead corpses on the track.
Another 1 hour and come back.
Tongariro was pretty snow covered a week ago. Now the snow's pretty well burned off. Another favorite tree along the track are these lancewoods. Often planted in gardens as an ornament. They're unique leaves. And the leaves seem to come out of only one side of the trunk for some reason. One side has all the leaves and the other side is barren. We're above the tree line now. Vegetation certainly isn't sparse, but it just doesn't grow as tall. Quite a variety in here. A lot of hebes, a lot of manuka. I'm not sure what the other species are called by name. Definitely one of my more favorite locations on the Tongariro Crossing track. More steps. Allie making her way up our favorite steps.
I always have.
Tamari crater is pretty quiet today. I don't see any steam coming out of the vents at all. But it was the eruption in 2012 that the enormous heat blast from the eruption in 2012 was the reason all these trees were just literally fried, burned to death. We've gone a little bit more than 2.5 hours. Of course, did a lot of fluffing along the way, filming and taking photographs. Normally it's about a 2-hour hike up to this demolition area of the old Karatahi hut. But it's a good place to have lunch before we push on to the top.
Quite snowy around here.
As you gain an elevation, we're coming on these patches of snow, still fairly deep and a little bit slippery. Snow starting to get a little bit thicker as we go up towards Blue Lake. It's a bit slippery, but still there's pretty good traction. Pretty good view from here.
Amazing, isn't
Lake Rodar and Lake Taupo out there.
it? Perfect.
Blue Lake is looking quite blue. And this is the half point. This is the center of the Tongariro Crossing track. It goes about 9.5 k's to this point here. This will be our turnaround point as well. Quite a few hikers coming this way. Out through the mist, you barely see the red crater. It's really a beautiful sight, but not so much today with the cloud cover.